Sixers fans, I sound like a broken record right now, but Tyrese Maxey is the man, hands down. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family, the community. I'm 7 away of 900 subscribers right now, which means I am 107 away of my goal. At that point, it's going to be, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. Get me to a K. Let's talk about Tyrese Maxey. Let's talk about the Sixers' impressive comeback win last night against the Sacramento Kings when every single 2021 projected Sixers starter was out. Not a single minute played, not a single point played. And then let's talk about at the end from a Kings perspective of what the Kings should realize after last night. Let's talk about it. I want to start off by saying Tyrese Maxey has been nothing short of phenomenal. I genuinely think this kid could be an all-star this season, in his second season as a 21-year-old point guard, commanding a contending team right now. He is the conductor. He is the man, all right? He has 4 turnovers, 36 assists in 295 minutes of his last 8 games. Let me say that again. He has 4 turnovers in a 300-minute span in 8 games. That is absolutely phenomenal. That is the most impressive thing out of this entire stretch for Tyrese Maxey. I understand his shooting splits are like 50, 40, 80, which is like insane. I mean, seriously insane, especially coming from a guy whose shot was the big question mark coming out of the draft. And it's the reason why he slipped to the Sixers at 21. But the fact that he is commanding this offense, putting up 36 assists in 8 games, and he only has 4 turnovers. I don't think in any point ever Ben Simmons has done that in an 8-game span. I seriously don't. I mean, the one big knock I had with Ben, along with shooting and free throws and being a bitch, was the fact that he turned the ball over way too much, and Tyrese Maxey does not do that. Like, he seriously doesn't turn the ball over. He has been phenomenal this year. He had 24 points last night, 8 of 22 from the field, which is probably his least efficient game in this stretch without Embiid, and yet he went 8 of 8 from the line and came up clutch in the fourth quarter, as he always seems to do. I mean, his drives to the basket are legendary, dude. He's the man. He really is the man. And I want to talk about other things as to why the Sixers won last night. I think it's hard to not mention the fact that we had 6 dudes in double figures and Drummond had 9. That's really impressive. I mean, Isaiah Joe had 11 first half points. I love Isaiah Joe. I am here for Isaiah Joe always. I don't care what he does. I love it. He's just the man. He makes everything look cool. He played pretty good defense in the spans that he played, and shot making wise, dude, he's going to be there. He's going to be there once he starts knocking down shots and playing confidently again. I think you're going to see a summer league result of him. We have seen what he can do in the preseason. I don't think it's far-fetched to be like he can bring that to this NBA team this year at some point. Andre Drummond had 9 points. Okay, yeah, cool. Dude had 23 rebounds. I mean, that fourth quarter was absolutely dominated by that man. He grabbed every single board, offensively, defensively. He kept every possession alive. You could genuinely look at him and say he was the reason why we won that game last night, because as soon as he came in, he dominated. He had the best plus minus on anyone on the team. It was a plus 19. He was seriously great. Everybody in the starting lineup had a plus minus, except, of course, Furkan Korkmaz, which I would like to say this real quick. You guys wanted an apology video from me about Furkan Korkmaz, and I waited on it, and I said, guys, give it a week, give it 2 weeks, to see when Furkan comes back to his regular self. And ladies and gentlemen, Furkan Korkmaz is back to his regular self. What is his regular self, Greg? Oh, thank you so much for asking. He is awful. I mean, he seriously is the worst player on this team that gets minutes. He is... I don't understand why you guys like him. The man is shooting 33% from 3 this year, and he is known as a sharpshooter. He's getting paid as a 3-point specialist, and he is shooting well below league average. This guy doesn't do anything well. Defensively, he is without a doubt the worst player on defense that our team has seen in the past couple of years. I mean, this guy's defense is so excruciatingly bad, I cannot watch him play basketball. I can't. He is awful. And I know you guys are going to be up in my comments again and saying whatever the hell you want to say, but literally I will refuse to listen to you, because Furkan Korkmaz is not an NBA player. This man deserves to be the 10th man on any other team. But for some reason, Doc Rivers and Sixers fans love this guy. And it doesn't make any sense to me because he can't do anything well. He does everything, and then there's defense, which is just atrocious. Yeah, I'll admit, occasionally Furkan gets a pretty decent bucket. And in the fourth quarter, he's usually not bad. But he has been so bad for so long right now that I can't even, I don't want to listen to anyone's rebuttal because it's just not good. There is no defense to say Furkan Korkmaz is a good player. He's shooting under 40% from the field this year. He's shooting 33% from three. Right. Okay. Let's go on to the next guy, Shake Milton, who had a great game. Shake had a big 16 points. He seemed like he was kind of our shot creator at multiple points in the game. He was efficient. He had a positive plus-minus, as pretty much everyone did except for Korkmaz. I loved him. Matisse Thybulle, dude, had a probably the best offensive game of his season so far. He had 15 points. He had 3 steals, though, and a block. And honestly, I'm going to say that I felt like they kind of gypped him on some of those steals. I felt like the dude had like 5 or 6 steals that were just not given him in the score books. So we might have to circle back to this conversation when they change the stat books in like a week, because I don't know where the hell the other steals went. George Niang had a good game-ish. He's been kind of inconsistent from 3 lately. He hasn't been shooting well. But, like, the thing with George Niang that I continue to say in my videos is, like, even when his shot is not falling, he is so excited for his teammates. He is so energetic, and he brings so much more than just his shot making that I think it's a very valuable trait to have on the Sixers team, and that's probably why he's getting so many minutes, as he should. And when his shot is falling, I mean, he's a great, great player. He really embodies the energy of Philadelphia, like, to the T. And I think he is somebody that every Philadelphia fan should like and probably does like, just because of how energetic he is, how gritty he is, and how bad he wants to win every single night. And I mean, that's kind of why we love Tyrese, right? We love Tyrese Maxey because even in his interviews, he's like, I don't care if I score 0 points as long as we win. You know, that's something really cool. That's something really, really cool. And Tyrese knows he just goes out and does everything he has to do to win a game, you know, and it's plays like that, players like that are so vitally important to teams. Now let's talk about the Kings a little bit. I don't think there's any way in hell that the Kings can look at last night and think like let's not trade for Ben Simmons. Dude, I seriously think that the Kings have to do something. Like, they have to make a move. They just lost to a Sixers team that didn't have a single projected starter for this year, play a single minute. I mean, that is seriously embarrassing. That's on their home court after they fired Luke Walton. And somebody in my chat said last night, like, what do you think of the chances of them making a big move now that Luke Walton's gone? And I wanted to put this perfectly clear right here. Most teams and most timelines when it comes to trades, it usually goes, depending on the star player on the team, it usually goes the coach will get fired first, then they'll probably make some trades, and then the GM goes. Unless it's like New Orleans, where it will definitely go coach first, GM second, and then Zion, just because of how polarizing and how talented he is. That, I mean, the owner's not gonna let the GM trade Zion before the owner just gets rid of David Griffin. That's the way that's going to be. But in Sacramento's case, they don't have a Zion Williamson. De'Aaron Fox is a borderline star in the NBA. I don't think there's any denying that, but he's not Zion, you know? And so I think now the Kings are probably the closest team that needs to make a move for Ben Simmons specifically. And I just don't think there's any way last night that you can look at this from a Kings perspective and be like, yeah, we don't need Ben Simmons, or we don't need to make a move. Because, dude, if you think any of those guys are gonna re-sign with you, you're out of your damn mind. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is gone. As soon as his contract comes up, whenever that is, I don't care. I don't even know when it is, but whenever that is, the man's gone. The fact that De'Aaron hasn't even kind of hinted at a trade is pretty insane to me. Buddy Hield does not want to be there. I know Brock Landis on Twitter put up a video of Buddy Hield saying to Doc Rivers at the end of the game, saying, like, get me the hell out of here. Dude, Buddy Hield doesn't want to be there. Marvin Bagley legitimately hates the city of Sacramento with all of his heart. Nobody on that Kings team wants to be on that Kings team. And I think I think there's got to be a way to move Ben Simmons to Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox. I have to think that. I think if De'Aaron asks for a trade, I think it makes it much easier for Philadelphia. And I don't think that's far-fetched to say that that could happen. And I would just imagine the speed of a backcourt holding Tyrese Maxey and De'Aaron Fox. I mean, I'm sure it would have its negatives, but boy, oh boy. I mean, that would be the craziest fast break team. And at the same time, I should say, you have Joel Embiid as your half-court center, who's arguably the best half-court player in the NBA. I mean, that's really, really ridiculous. I mean, that's just a ridiculous trio. I think there is, at some point, another subscriber put up in my chat yesterday, I think it was Cleva, that said De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and Marvin Bagley for Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, filler, and picks. Depending on the filler, which I think would have to be probably okay, like Isaiah Joe or something, I think there's a possibility of something like that happening. Now, financially, I don't know if it works. Maybe we throw in Danny Green, but dude, the Kings have got to do something. Like, the Kings have got to do something. They are so miserable that there is no reason that they don't go out and make a trade for Ben Simmons. I mean, whether it's a Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley ordeal, or you're putting in Halliburton or De'Aaron Fox, which I think the Sixers are seriously solidified themselves as like, look, we are only going to get De'Aaron or Tyrese. And at this point, dude, I love Tyrese Halliburton. I do. I think he's a good dude. I've seen a lot of, podcasts with him, interviews with him. Seems like a great guy. Seems like a great kid. I hope nothing but the best for him, but I don't see him as a guy who is good enough to get in return for Ben Simmons. I think it's a De'Aaron Fox or bust deal. And I think if the Kings get as desperate as I think they are going to get, I seriously believe that there is a possibility of De'Aaron Fox coming to Philadelphia. And what that means for Tyrese Maxey, I don't know. But De'Aaron Fox, just as an individual, has progressed every single year. He didn't have a great start to this season, but he's kind of getting back on track. He had a good game last night. He's a dude, he's just getting better every single season on the offensive end. I think defensively he could be a little bit better, but I think the potential's there. And I just think a potential of a backcourt of Tyrese Maxey and De'Aaron Fox, like, I understand it's probably going to have its issues, but at the same point, I really think that could be just absolutely lethal in so many different aspects of an NBA game, so that I think it's something that we could think about. Let me cook up some NBA trade machine trades of Ben Simmons for De'Aaron Fox. Let's see what we can do there. I could make a video on it. I'm sure I already have at some point. I've made so many Ben Simmons hypothetical trade videos that it's just like, it's disgusting. But that being said, dude, I'm super hyped that we won that game last night. I'm surprised that we won that game last night. And the Kings, dear Sacramento fans, I feel for you. The Sixers are kind of like a poverty franchise. They're a little bit better than you guys. Like, you guys are as the definition of a poverty franchise. But the Sixers are like kind of on that same path. But if you guys want to make a deal, take Ben Simmons. He's the best player in the NBA. He's a future MVP. Go. He's all yours, dude. And all we want in return is just like, I don't know, De'Aaron Fox.